Hi friends, Ananda here from Galactic Mystic, and today I wanted to talk to you about Blu-ray souls and some of the most frequently asked questions I get about this topic. On my website, I have written a few articles about Blu-rays and different topics around that. And over the last several years of interacting with people and getting so many messages about this and working with my Blu-ray clients, I've gotten the same handful of questions over and over again. And so I thought it would be nice to compile this in a nice little package. So at the end of this video, if you have another question that is not addressed here, please leave me a comment below or send me an email, and then I can answer your question in a part 2. So the first question, what are Blu-ray souls? Blu-ray souls are a soul group like the Indigos, the Rainbow Children, the Crystal Children. They're not a starseed type, but they are starseeds. I hope that makes sense. I often see people use the term Blu-ray starseed, and that's not accurate because Blu-rays are not a starseed type. They're a soul group. The Blu-rays are known as the Forgotten Ones, and you can think of them as the divine feminine counterbalance energy to the divine masculine energy of the Indigos. The Indigos are the trailblazers, the activists. They're here to confront the old way and to break it down. And the Blu-rays are meant to come in after some of that has happened to start building the new way. Indigos challenge lower frequencies. Blu-rays tend to just withdraw their energy from lower frequencies. So they're both very important things. They just, it's a different way of going about it, a fundamental difference, but a complementary one. Indigos can be activists, as I said, healers, teachers, and the Blu-rays are the builders and the way showers of the new way. Both transmute lower energies and anchor light into the planet and into the DNA of humanity, just like all the star seeds, and all are light workers. The next question are Nihal starseeds Blu-rays, and this is a lot of the research that I've done. Over the past 3 years, I've really enjoyed talking to so many people about this, and I've started to get a little bit of an idea, and I'm going to share that with you. So as I've been working with Nihal starseeds and Blu-rays, these are some of the things that I have discovered. A, not all Blu-rays are Nihal starseeds. B, many Nihal starseeds are Blu-rays. C, I have not found a connection to the Indigos and Nihal starseeds other than that original connection that I can't source. D, it's entirely possible that there is no connection between Blu-rays and Nihal starseeds other than the many, many, many things that all starseeds and lightworkers share. So my disclaimer is that I'm still studying this. I'm still asking questions and exploring it. And, all the people that I've worked with and heard from over these past 3 years have really contributed to this. I'm also not attached to any of this being 100% accurate or true. I think we really have to leave a lot of room in our belief systems for new information to come in to change how we see things. I tend to feel that, not being super attached to these labels and groups that we put ourselves in is a major important part of the journey of sovereignty. And the point of all of it is service to humanity, regardless of soul group and regardless of starseed type. Next question is, what is the mission for Blu-rays? The mission is the same as it is for all indigos, excuse me, and all starseeds, and that is to be of service to humanity. The type of service will differ from person to person, but it's always about the individual's journey of balancing their karma, claiming sovereignty, and their authentic expression, following your bliss. That will get you there. Doing the work to become more and more mature emotionally and spiritually. Doing those things and having that be a lifestyle will allow you to find your unique way to be of service, your own soul path. And, you know, when it comes down to things like balancing your karma, understanding, you know, why am I this way? I don't know. For me, when I began doing this work, I was like, why am I so sensitive? Why does life feel like it's so intense for me? And the way that I found the answers to those questions was through being an astrologer and really diving into my natal chart in a way that helped me understand how I'm made. And this is one of the ways that I can help others as well. So another thing that people ask is about gifts, the clairs, healing abilities, psychic abilities. Excuse me, my allergies are like, no bueno. Excuse me. So what about the gifts? This is one of my gifts is to make mystical knowledge more practical. And when it comes to this question about the gifts, I'm really passionate about spreading the message that these gifts are not special, that they are inherently natural in all human beings. And the more we think about it as something that is natural and less about something that we have to learn and attain and chase after, the easier it will come. Because, you know, part of being of service to humanity is about raising, you know, it's the evolution of humankind. And part of that evolution involves everyone having access to these human abilities. For a Blu-ray or an indigo or a starseed, a lot of times those things are easier because they're already more connected to unconditional universal love and at a soul level. And that's part of what it takes for a human to have access to those things. It's just about love and allowing all the parts of you to come forth, all the parts of you that are of benefit to your highest and best, most benevolent path. And another thing is that, you know, for a being who is here to be of service, like the indigos and the Blu-rays and the starseeds, having abilities that are superhuman or godlike would not be appropriate. So these things are normal for all humans. There aren't like special gifts, even though we see it that way because not everyone is activated in those ways. I hope that makes sense. Next question. How do I know if I am a Blu-ray? And people ask me this all the time, and my answer may frustrate them, but it is in alignment with the journey of sovereignty. And so in the articles that I've written on my website, I have a couple blog posts where I describe Blu-rays and some of their experiences, how their lives are, their childhoods. And a lot of times when people read these descriptions, they feel a deep resonating yes, like a validation, like they're being seen for the first time. And so if you read these articles or these descriptions, I'll post them in the description below, and you feel that resonant yes, I mean, to me, that's a yes. I don't think that there has to be a certain thing in your chart or anything. You don't have to have a psychic tell you. You will know. You know who you are deep down. You don't need anyone to tell you. Next question. What are some of the challenges of being a Blu-ray? Well, Blu-rays often need to find their voice. They need to ground into this body at this time on this planet and reclaim their power. Usually they have to create boundaries. They need to learn to say no and recognize their worth. Their tendency towards victim mentality can be very strong. And, this usually comes from childhood or, parental trauma or karma around that. It creates a sort of that doormat empath, or that empath that just is overwhelmed by everyone's energy all the time and doesn't know how to set boundaries, both energetically and in life. And it's because of the incredible depth of empathy, sympathy, and emotional presence that these beautiful, beautiful people have. Once they learn how to stand up for themselves, to be strong and balanced, to say no, and when to say yes, that's an important part of it, to never say yes to something that they feel resentful about saying yes to, things like that. Just claiming their sovereignty, being a strong, balanced, confident, grounded light worker. Once they do this, everything will change. They will naturally fall into leadership roles and people will notice them. A lot of times in public, people will come up to them and just start telling them their personal business. This happens to me all the time, especially at restaurants. Our servers will often, share a lot of personal stories. It's very, very sweet. And it's because they exude this loving presence where people feel as if they can relax around them, that they can come up and take a breath, that they're safe, that it's a safe space. You're a safe person. And what a gift that is, just to be a person that someone else can take a breath around. I love that. A lot of times others will begin to be triggered by them once they find their sovereignty. And I just want to encourage you to don't let it bother you if people are triggered by you. Being triggered is a gift. And the sooner we recognize that in ourselves and others, like if somebody triggers me, I think, oh, I've got some work to do there. Thank you. That person is serving as a teacher to me. And if someone is triggered by me, I allow myself to play that role for them. And I don't take it personally. It doesn't bother me at all. It's not personal. We need each other to do that. It doesn't mean we have to like each other, but we're all here to help each other grow. Yeah. So, okay, next question. This is one of my favorites. You say I'm not supposed to get too attached to these labels. If that's the case, then what's the point of knowing any of this in the first place? I love this question, and it's a very important one. So when a person begins to awaken to how multidimensional they are and ancient their souls are, it often awakens this deep hunger, and they begin this search to know all the details about their soul's history. Like I was saying before, about retrieving memories and activating gifts and all of that. The biggest gift of any of this knowledge is that when you feel a resonance, that confirmation of something that you've always felt about yourself or believed about yourself, allow that validation to fuel your self-trust. This builds your inner authority. And the true gift of this phase of gobbling up information is that. And all of these labels and identifiers are meant to get you there, to where you have this inner authority, where if you think it teaches you to trust your intuition. hope this was helpful. Like I said earlier, if you have any other questions or any questions about anything that I've said, please leave a comment below or send me an email and I will reply to you. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon.